Governor Kim Reynolds is once again facing legal action for a law she championed. This time, the State Department of Education is being sued alongside her for Senate File 496, the all-encompassing education law, which went into effect this summer. You may know the law best from its controversial steps to regulate books and materials used in the classroom and in school libraries. It's the same law that also requires parents and guardians to sign off on pronouns or names used by students that don't match their registration. LGBT rights organizations and groups against book banning have spoken out extensively about the law, while Governor Reynolds and the state GOP argue it promotes parental rights. And now 7 Iowa students and their families, along with Iowa Safe Schools, have filed a lawsuit to put an injunction on Senate File 496. Local 5's Dana Searles joins us now to break down this lawsuit. Dana.
Stephanie, the group is asking the federal court to declare Senate File 496 unconstitutional and to place a temporary block on the law while this lawsuit goes through the courts. Governor Reynolds is being sued for Senate File 496 alongside the Iowa Department of Education, as well as several school superintendents and school boards.
The First Amendment does not allow our state or our schools to remove books or issue blanket bans on discussion and material simply because a group of politicians or parents find them offensive.
The suit alleges that this law violates the First and 14th Amendment rights of the students as well as the Federal Equal Access Act.
It sends the message that LGBTQ kids are too shameful to be acknowledged, and it endangers not only their mental health, but also their physical safety and well-being.
In the lawsuit, it says students feel like this law sends a message that LGBTQ students aren't wanted in the schools and that it has altered the landscape for Iowa schools.
It is heartbreaking to watch her be made to feel alone, silenced, and less than at school, and to know that the state that we have lived in for our entire lives supports that.
Several arguments are brought up that this law is too broad and there is little guidance, stating that the law doesn't define what constitutes a description or visual depiction of a sex act.
This law claims to protect parental rights, but it does the opposite. Instead of sending my child to school and assuming he will be safe, as every parent of a cisgendered straight child does, I spend my days worrying about what potential damage this school day might do to my child's physical or mental well-being.
The suit also claims that because of this law, a generation of LGBTQ plus Iowans will grow up isolated and afraid. And these 7 students ultimately claim that they have been forced to self-censor when they are at school. Enforcement of the law begins on the first of the year, so the group is moving to have a temporary ban on the law so the schools and teachers don't have to face the enforcement while the lawsuit goes through the courts. Stephanie?
Dana, thank you. Governor Reynolds has issued a statement in response to the lawsuit. She says, quote, protecting children from pornography and sexually explicit content shouldn't be controversial. The real controversy is that it exists in elementary schools. If these books were movies, they'd be rated R.